Whether your beer is in a bottle, can, or glass, kick back and relax. It's Better on Draft.
Hello and welcome to Better on Draft. This is a Michigan Beer Series number 57, where we are going to talk to a couple of folks from Kuhnhenn Brewing. Meanwhile, my name is Rob. I'm one of your hosts, and with me is Wendy. Hi, Wendy. How are you? What are you drinking?
Hey, what's up? I am drinking a Kuhnhenn Brewing Company Divinator.
Nice. Is that something you brewed with the Divas?
It is. And I'm excited to try the barrel-aged version.
Yes, it's coming around the corner.
Yep.
I can't wait to have that one. I was really hoping we'd have it for Solstice coming out here. Our big winter solstice is just tomorrow and the next day. Big deal for us. But we just have too many beers. I mean, how many beers are we releasing, Brett? It's every year. I don't know why we do this.
13 this year, yeah.
13. We should do like 3 or 5, not 13. I don't know how we end up getting over exaggerated amount of beers that we do. It's fun. We got some fun lineups. I'm just looking at the list right now. We've got Blueberry Ice Vodka, I think is probably one of the big hitters that people look for. And then barley wine and is probably the next big one on the list, because we haven't really done the regular bourbon barrel aged barley wine in some time. So nice.
I actually snagged that list from Facebook, and it is now on the screen for people who are watching the video.
Yeah, long-awaited return of the bourbon barrel barley wine. So this we have several versions, so we're quite stoked about it. I mean, we've been bottling it for the past couple of weeks. So yummy deliciousness. And then we have a double barrel aged one, which is super exciting too. So
I'm gonna circle back and say, who are you?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Aaron.
I'm one of the Kuhnhenn brothers.
Yeah, we're the two crazy brothers that started this years ago with the help of our father. So
excellent.
25 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you gentlemen drinking anything tonight?
I'm going to crack into it right now. I've got a Solstice Stout from last year.
You got one from last year?
What do you
I
have?
got 22.
Whoa.
I got a 24.
Yeah.
These are fun ones because they hold up so well. It's fun seeing how they change through the years too.
I'm in Indianapolis. I do not have access to your beer, so I cannot. I don't have to have one, but I have something from Abomination Brewing. It's called Fuck 2025. And it is a double IPA.
That hasn't shown up here yet. Or I would have tried that one when I was at the shop yesterday.
I love beers that come in boxes, and I love beers with swearing on the can.
I don't see that too much.
No. On our show yesterday, I talked about the beer I brought back from the Netherlands that was Fuck the Christmas Tree is on Fire.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah. From Oltje in Haarlem in the Netherlands.
Yeah, I would have bought that in a heartbeat. So, hey guys, it's been a while since you've been on the show. I think the last show you were on was episode 100. And we just hit episode 3-something?
381 yesterday.
Not including our 50 Michigan series episodes. So why don't you give us an update on what's been going on at Kuhnhenn's?
What's the latest? I don't know. We're just doing same old craziness we've always done. It's like our big thing right now is, as usual, our winter solstice party is what we spend a lot of time and effort for the whole year doing. We'll be getting back into making the stuff in the next month or so for the following year. That's a big part of what we do. I'm excited about doing more distilling. We're just in our infancy of doing that, but our head brewer, Dan Fick, does an exceptional job with brewing, and he really likes distilling. We're really excited going forward with a lot of specialty products in the distilling part of it as well. But
we finally have an American single malt whiskey that's come of age. It is 8 years old. So and it tastes lovely. So Of course, we've been drinking it barrel strength and
You got to test the
sampling
quality.
sessions. Yeah, quite intense. Yeah, we're really stoked about that.
That's
Now,
got to be different managing that kind of production time frame versus beer.
are you kidding me? The Angels share is ridiculous. I mean, the barrels are only half full. It's
Wow.
it's just crazy how much you lose. Yeah.
Hey, Rob, do you get Tavor in your state or no?
Yeah, I haven't ordered from them for quite a while, but yes, I definitely do.
We do. I'll have to just do a plug for them. It's like they've been doing an exceptional job selling it for us. So they sell in 12 or 13 states for us. So
I
get it
will have to get
discount.
back in there and start looking for beers again. It's been a while since I've,
They're
done the
great
chase.
marketeers, that's for sure. Those guys, they really push it hard with the emails. They do a good job blasting it out there and selling it. So
And they write some interesting copy for the beers, I've noticed.
yeah,
Like they often have stories for them, or just really good tasting notes on them too.
Yeah,
sure.
they got some good beer writers, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, other
but-
things, new at the brewery. I mean, there really isn't, we just do a lot of the same stuff, unfortunately. I feel like we need to get out there
Here
and do
it's
more
like,
things.
I hate to, like Brett, we were talking about distilling, and I know this
Making donuts and stuff,
it's
pretty
all
much
about
over and over
beer
and
for the
over.
most part, what you guys do, but we love diversifying into different things too. We've been getting into sake a little bit more. Like we've been in it for 2 years now. We've been making sake with for the festivals with popping boba balls, and we call it Dragon Balls, and it's been a big hit. It's a high strength.
Very
what was it?
popular.
Yeah, it was real popular. It was really fun. I see you got the fruit flavor popping boba, and you've got the dryness from the sake, and it's high octane, and you get the popping boba, and then you just get this really neat contrast of going on of flavor. What's going on with it? You get the dryness, and you get the popping boba that's kind of sweet. Really kind of neat. Brett wants to package it, but I don't know how the hell you're going to do this. It's like it's not. It doesn't seem that stable, the popping boba itself, but he's got some ideas up his sleeve, so we're going to work on it coming up in the near future.
You can do like the Chinese street food things where everything comes in separate packets and you have to assemble it yourself when it's time to actually
Right?
Wow,
That's kind of
one
what
of
it
the
is.
concepts we have, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what was those
Those-
magic dipsticks or whatever when you were a
Yeah.
kid? Where you dip it into the
Yeah.
2 different flavored ducks or whatever, and you suck it on a sugar stick. That kind of thing. You kind
Those
of
were
do
great. The good kids could dip all the way through, but the other kids just ate the stick. They had nothing to do with anymore.
But yeah, we new with beers. We're a big thing for us right now. I'd have to say is, I keep going back to Solstice. We put so much time and effort into it. Is we're doing some special barrel aged ones. Like we got Detroit City Rye barrels this year, and kind of getting some more local stuff, which is really fun. And what was the other one we had on here? I thought we had
Motor City.
Yeah, Motor Cities. That's what I'm thinking of.
So that's the barley wine. So those are double barrel aged. So the first time they were aged in Heaven Hill barrels, and then we put them into the local distilleries. So Detroit City and Motor City. So and that the rye has quite a character too. That from Detroit City, on the 4D. So yeah, we thought we'd do something a little different. That the double barrel aging. I thought it would be something novelty that we've never done before. And they got about 9 months of age on the second barrel too. So it definitely plays in the flavor. Almost everything this year is barrel aged released. We have one that's not. It's called the Unyielding, and it's a Belgian. It's like a Belgian quad, very light colored. 17.1%. It's just It kind of reminds me of like a Chimay Blue on steroids.
But
Really,
here's what we did as we go in the direction because we like it, like because of Drippa doing our double. We've become accustomed to using rice for a lot of things, so we thought it'd be fun, doing an adjunct brew instead of just in sugar. We ended up going the direction of using rice. So it is a Belgian light strong, made with rice to 17%, very dry, very drinkable. So it's kind of a fun, different play on the whole thing. So yeah, we're always doing something different and crazy different, but it's like but it's like the way it is nowadays. It's like it seems like if we think we've been the first ones, there's always somebody's already done it already. But we've done a lot of crazy things through the years. Like Simcoe Celly, that was from years ago. And it's no big deal doing a Belgian, American Belgio style, with the American hops and the Belgian yeast playing off of the whole thing. But we were the first ones doing it when we did that when Simcoe hops first came out about 20 some odd years ago. And those Simcoe hops were just a number, and they just turned it into the name Simcoe on it. And it was really cool calling it Simcoe Silly and winning an award for the silver at GABF for it. So years ago, it was kind of fun.
It's great.
So tell us a little bit about the festival. What can people expect when they go?
lots of drafts. Yeah, come in and do some sampling. I mean, it's hard to do a lot of, to do 13 samples of something, that strong. But we have some food. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the pork shanks, but that was kind of our signature dish that we do for Oktoberfest and every year. And we decided to go ahead and do it this solstice. So we brine these pork shanks for like 3 days, and we have a smoker, and we smoke 140 of these shanks for the event, and they get a special finishing sauce on them, and they kind of like I'm not going to say they fall apart on the plate, but they are very nice and tender. Nice smoke ring to them, just delicious.
They're uniquely different. They're not like a traditional ice bind. We call them an ice bind, but we've actually taken and done a curing process for a number of days using we've got herbs of Provence and garlic and salt, black pepper, and some pickling spice. And these things are just amazing. It takes pork to another level, is what it does. So it's really fun stuff. And then the finishing sauces.
When you go to Europe, you can find pork shanks in quite a few places, especially Germany and Poland. But they cook them. They just most of them roast them in the oven to the point where they're just really well done. They don't brine them, and they're skin on, and ours are skin off. So what they tend to do is they cook them for a very long time, and then just before they serve them, they crank up the heat in the oven, and they get that skin to crackle and get really crispy. But our version doesn't do that, mainly so that we can get a lot of the brine penetration into the meat, and just you can really taste all those different spices and stuff in there. So it's just a different variation on something in Europe that we were really impressed with when we went there. You go to like Cologne or Dusseldorf, and you can get them at so many places. They're delicious, but where can you find them? Can you find them in a restaurant near you?
No, I think a lot of you don't. Most of the time, I think people all they think of when they think of shank is you're going to make me eat a ham hock. That's what I put in my soup. Why would I do that? It's like no, it's on a different level with what it is. So it's not just your salty briny ham hock. It's a lot different with the pork shank that we do. So.
It sounds like there's enough flavor and things going on in that to go with these 13, 15, 17% beers that Did I hear you say they're all going to be on draft as well?
Yeah,
I think we got everyone on. Yeah,
we got them all on. Plus, I think I
got one
think
or two
Dan went
vintages.
one step further. Didn't he get one vintage? He got one vintage out there too from 2 years ago. I think he put on as well. So
excellent. That sounds like a nice evening. I'm not sure how many people will remember it.
So we have something else we do for the party. We do wassail toasts, and that's essentially all it is. We make a wassail, which is it's a mulled mead with some fourth dementia old ale mixed in there with it, and some apple cider and cinnamon, nutmeg, clove.
Your
Uh,
traditional mulling spices for the most part.
yeah, your mulling spices, and we serve it hot. It's complimentary, just like little glasses we bring around to everyone, and we just do here, hey, all hail wassail, cheers. Like every hour, as soon as it gets dark, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, we start passing them out, and it seems like there's so many people in there. It takes about 25 minutes to pass out all these little shot glasses, but yeah, people
Time
are
you
super
stop.
excited about it. We've been doing it
Once
for a
you get
long
through one,
time.
you're on to the next one. It's like a perpetual motion
Yeah.
of food wassail toast.
And a lot of people are shocked, by how it's warm. It's warm, and because they're expecting something cold, and yeah, it's cool. Something you do for solstice.
It sounds like you've got a lot of traditional things going on that you've just tweaked or adjusted a little bit to your liking.
Yeah, I mean, through the years, I remember quite a few solstices. We would just like smoke some turkeys, and we would cut up the turkeys and just pass out free little slider sandwiches, and that was fun to do. Just because we really didn't have a lot of, especially at the Warren location, it doesn't have a kitchen really. Um, so we had to provide something for them to eat while they're drinking all these crazy strong beers. But now we're having the second location that has a full kitchen. We bring in all the food, and it just makes it more manageable for all, because yeah, like you're saying, it's a lot of strong beers to drink, and you know I do have people coming in from out of town, and they're going to stay at a hotel right down the road, and get an Uber, because it's got to be safe, and they want to try all these beers, and how can you try all of them? It's tough. So it's super fun. I love doing it.
So, what I like is that it looks like you've split up the days between the two breweries, the two locations. So,
Yeah, it just seemed to make sense that way. And sometimes I think in the did we have it? We didn't have a week separated though. It was always just a day separating.
Just a
Um,
day separate. I think we always tried to do it back to back days with the whole thing. The thing is remember, it's solstice. We tried to be. Brett wanted to be adamant a long time ago about keeping it on solstice. I said, Brett, it doesn't work out that well because depending on how Christmas falls, it can be really different from year to year on the way that it lands. And we decided to go in the direction. Usually, like this weekend, it's kind of nice because I mean it's falling on a Saturday and a Sunday. It's actually very
yeah,
convenient
I mean,
for the
we've
most part.
celebrated solstice on a
Really close.
Tuesday or Wednesday. You
We
know,
have, but we've
you don't
also
get the
pushed it.
as big a
But we've
crowds.
also we've argued about this all the time. We've also pushed it to the closest weekend, which could be a few days off. Which Brett goes, no, got to be on. So it's got to be on solstice. But it's tough to do all the time. But it's a very fun thing to do. It's a little bit different, keeping with the holiday cheer with it. It makes it chaotic for us. So I mean, oh my god, we're still bottling till last night. I mean, you see Brett's face. He looks like he wasn't ice fishing. He's burnt from the wind, the cold wind being outside, loading this stuff onto the back of of the van so we could get it from one location to the other. So we wanted to have everything set up for both locations, so ready to go. So yeah, it's always we always push ourselves on the whole thing to get it done, but oh my gosh, talk about last minute.
A labor of love.
Yeah, it's a labor of love.
Whose idea was it to have solstice in December?
Yeah. So there's a summer solstice. We do that, but we don't get the people to show. Brett's done some nice ones though. I think he should keep doing it though. He did seafood boil. It was really fun.
Oh, nice.
And we've done that a number of times. And then, the crawfish boil, seafood boils and that in the summer with the whole thing, you put out the newspaper print and you pour it out on the table on the whole thing. And just like you're down south or something. It's super fun. But we lost Brett though.
We did.
Oh my God. He drank too much already.
You told him he looked bad. He had to go brush his hair.
I didn't mean
It was
he
just
looked
it
bad.
was too
I'm
the
sorry.
Solstice stout is just too much, and I'm getting hot and sweaty and
We were both.
wow.
If you see what the wind was like, I mean, it's like 20 degrees. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
20 degrees out right now with the wind hitting you. I couldn't feel my fingers out there while we were moving these piles of beer. So, but we got it done. So.
So Solstice, is that your biggest? Because I know you guys do other holidays too.
Definitely the biggest because
It's the biggest.
it's all our barrel aged stuff that we do first, let it age for such a long time. And it really is. It's something that we love. It's the kind of beers that we love to drink. So that's why.
And then the next one would be our Oktoberfest. The Oktoberfest, we do kind of a similar situation where we have it at both locations one day and then one weekend, then the following weekend and Saturday. And it works out really well. Ours is a little bit later than people say, why do you guys do yours so late into October? I said, it's because I didn't want to step on anybody else's shoes of anybody else that was doing them, because a lot of people had the earlier ones way back, 20 some odd years ago. But then now it's so saturated with breweries and places that do Oktoberfest that you got to do your own thing and just stick to it. So we love it. We do those tanks.
Very large St. Patrick's party.
It's the only holiday festival holiday event that you guys do that I have not made it to yet.
You haven't made it to that?
No, isn't that's such a shame, because
That's a big one.
I see it every year. I've tried the beers. I remember one year you guys had them on at McShane's during the parade.
Yeah. Yep.
So
exactly.
There's a lot of places that put it on draft. We that's our big draft
Breakfast of
push.
Champions.
Yeah.
The breakfast that started as a theme for the Michigan Summer Beer Festival. It was that was our first one, I think, wasn't it? But then we did Candyland a couple of years later. But it was really interesting because we had our brew on premise system, and that brew on premise system is a little tiny 20-gallon kettles. We had steam kettles. We had 6 of them. Still have them there. But at the time when we first started in the whole thing, we wanted to show off to people what they could make their own beer, and we actually could pay us money, and they'd come in and do a 12.5-gallon batch and made was it 6 or 7 cases, I think is what it was.
About
custom label.
Yeah.
Custom label on it. Super fun to do, but it just got the labor expense got too out of hand for us to do that all the time. But it let us do a lot of experimentation early on in our years of doing beers, because we could modify and tweak batches on a little pilot system that was amazing. So that was really fun doing that. But that's how we did a lot of the beers for the Breakfast of Champions to begin with, like one of the one-offs. And people talked about it, some of these crazy things for years afterwards. Like that was where Creme Brulee Java Stout came from. That we first made. That's a very popular beer that we do. The other one,
Red Tots Red Ale.
That was
a Candyland theme.
That was Candyland. But the one I'm thinking of is we did a breakfast sausage ale. So we made a Rauch beer, fresh sage, black pepper, salt to get the brininess to it, and it turned out really good. It was pretty amazing. It smelled just like breakfast sausage in the glass. It's kind of crazy, but you don't want to make an 8-barrel batch, even though like a half barrel goes a long ways, but people get a kick out of it. But I think the neat thing is we put it on it with these small batches, and we're trying to push them through real quick. It's like sometimes you get a little bit of a yeast plug charged through the whole thing. Putting it, and we put it aside and send it out to the festival, and then we said people are looking at this thing and said breakfast sausage ale, and they're lined up. I mean, I've never seen a line at a festival like this. This is 20 years ago. For all these beers, people said, "What are you guys doing? I've never seen this." And they're going insane. This is before you really saw any kind of lineups for stuff. And then Brett starts pulling off the first beers, and it came out solid chunks. And Brett says to everybody, because they're all standing around in awe, what's going on? He said, "Oh, that's this breakfast sausage." They'll go, "No way!" It was just hilarious. It was like
There was no
no, it's
fucking.
not, Brett. But it really was pretty cool though. There was fun stuff with beers early on in the years. So
I've told this story on the show before, but not to you guys, so I get to tell it again. Where I was in Bangkok and I went to a brewery called Chit Beer. The owner, his name is Chit. The head brewer, his name is Porn. But they also teach brewing there. Like they teach home brewing, and then a lot of the people have gone out and started breweries around Southeast Asia. But while I was there, these students would put one of their beers on tap. So there would be, there might have been 10 taps there. And when a keg kicks, a student gets up there, speaks in Thai about the beer they just made. They put it on tap, and everybody gets a pint of that. And that was going, they ring this bell, and that was going on all night long. And it was great.
That sounds fun.
There was so much to love there. I brought home Porn's Milk Stout because why wouldn't you?
Awesome. That's really cool. Have you traveled recently for any beer adventures?
The last thing I did was a cruise for my 50th birthday, which we had share a birthday. And I got a little bit of beer in Boston. I hit 3 breweries and a tap room in the airport while I was there. And then I didn't get to another brewery again until Puerto Rico. I was shut down on every single island to get local beer. I was so disappointed. Normally I can find beer anywhere I go. And it was just hit after hit. And funny enough, the last day of the cruise, I had booked us a brewery tour to like 3 West Coast breweries in Puerto Rico. And I got an email that they had to cancel the tour. I'm not going to lie, I cried a little bit over that one. I was like, are you kidding me? Even in Puerto Rico? But I found, of course, I found breweries on my own.
Oh, good.
Very cool.
But yeah,
that's Puerto Rico a number of times. What was your favorite? Do you have any favorite breweries you've been to in Puerto Rico, Brett? Or haven't you hit too many?
Probably just the brewery Rincon. I've had like the best flavors. That's one of the far west. That's the farthest west is Rincon, Puerto Rico. But yeah, that one's good. A lot more expensive though than anywhere else. The other one is was it Ocean's Lab. That's like it's like
their site was
Sorry?
Their site was amazing.
Oh, it's really cool. It's a beautiful spot right there on the beach.
Still haven't made it over to Puerto Rico for the beer thing. I did it years ago. I just went to a resort and we had these little tiny. Do they still do little tiny, like 8-ounce cans of beer? It was like really weird. On the resort, that's all they had. These little 8-ouncers. It's really strange.
It's so much effort.
Well, they got that Modella.
Airport prices. It was
I
crazy.
think they're 10-ounce cans, but it makes sense when you're in a real hot environment. Just crack open the little cans. Keep them real cold. I don't want a huge, 22-ounce or anything, or 19.2. I think it'd be a little too warm too quick, unless I really drink really fast. I usually don't.
The resort we stayed in, we were only there for one night, and then the next day we flew home. But they were the ones that created the pina colada.
Awesome.
So we drank some pina coladas at the hotel.
Of course.
I would hope so.
When in Rome.
Yes. Yeah, of course I did go out and find some breweries. We found one brewery that it was in Old San Juan, and the Uber driver dropped us off, and we were like, my friend's like, there's no brewery here. And I'm like, it's here. You just got to look for it. And we found a sign a little ways down that said brewery and tap room down the alley to the right. So I'm like, nice. I took a picture of it. I'm like, that's the most craft beer shit I've ever seen. Like, that's exactly what a craft brewery does.
Yep. That's cool. What kind of beer did they have? Was it all light lager, or was it like
No, they had a
porter?
very
Or,
wide selection. I was
yeah,
really impressed. I think we sampled 8 or 9 beers that they had. They had a couple of stouts. It's hard to find a stout in the Caribbean.
right. Yeah,
But they had
yeah,
it.
it's hot down there.
I was thinking back. I think my last beer trip was to Peoria. You know, exotic beer destination that is Peoria. I did find good beer. There was good beer there, and there were a bunch of places within walking distance. But I don't know that I'd recommend going there just for beer. I was there to help a friend whose son was competing in a card game tournament thing.
Of course, games.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about homebrewing, because Rob brought that up with his visit to the, where was it again?
Chit beer.
Yeah, they you've got the Kuhnhenn Brewers Guild, right? What is it?
The
Guild of
Kuhnhenn
Brewers.
Guild of Brewers. Yeah.
Guild of Brewers. That's it. Tell us a little bit about that, because I know that even though most people should know about it at this point, not everybody does.
I didn't.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of a big deal. They win a lot of awards through the years. They've been around for how many years they've been around for, brother? I think it's like 15 years now, haven't they?
Yeah, I think it's yeah, right around there.
50. They get together once a month, the first Monday of the month, and it's like 7:30. They highly encourage other people to come in and check them out and see what they got going on. Do a big chili cook-off every year. Have a wonderful Christmas party for them, private thing that they do. But they get together and they do beer judge certification stuff together. They pool together beers and road trip to places to go and enter in different contests all over the whole country. They're pretty amazing. They're really competitive. They really like what they're doing, and they got a great backbone of people that have been doing it that are part of the club for forever, for going back even the full 15 years. And they're always switching out new people. There's a lot of newbies in there too. So we had the home brew shop at the one time. So a little bit of it. We'll just reiterate a little bit of the history of Kuhnhenn Brewing. We started as a home brew shop. Brett started a home brew shop out of my dad's hardware store, and it built and built, and we dared to dream, and we started Kuhnhenn Brewing based upon that. And it was just an amazing thing, and we didn't want to put all our eggs in one basket, so we had the home brew shop still while we were doing the build out, and we kept the home brew shop for as long as it was our grassroots. But then we also decided we're going to do wine on premise, brew on premise, where people can come in and make their own beers, and then also do all of our own regular beer. So we're teaching people. I think that went a long ways a long time ago about what we did was teaching people how beer's made and how you can make it, and all the nuances of all the different styles and everything, and learning. I know we grew so much with everything. Beer judge certification, through Rex Halfpenny back in the day when we first started. That was a big deal. He was a really good friend of ours. We traveled to Europe with him too. Some of our first adventures to Belgium was 23, 22 years ago with Rex Halfpenny going through Belgium and Germany. So that was really epic times that to this day we always just think back to those adventures we had taken and done over there. Just amazing.
We learned so much from going to Europe. We really did. Like we thought, you go to all these Belgian breweries, you're going to see all this Belgian candy sugar, and I was surprised to see that a lot of them didn't use Belgian candy sugar. So that was a shocker to me. And
like the hard candy sugar, they leave that on the tables for sour beers, which was kind of interesting, to back sweeten it if you wanted to on a super sour beer or something like that. But there's a lot of fun, different things they had going on. It was pretty amazing.
Like working museums. That's what, like.
They were like working museums, yeah.
Yeah.
Cantillon, going to Cantillon for the first time back then was a big deal. It's like their kettles are like cast iron. It's like a cast iron skillet. Do not clean that thing. You'll ruin the surface of it. It's going to rust on you. So, you
That's
could
all
just see
that
the wrong
black
person.
oxide.
You need that black oxide to preserve it. It's like, oh my God, it's like, you got to be kidding. It's like, yeah, you don't watch how you wash that. They had so many cool, fun things going on. Their own filter presses. They go up the street and there was a pulp place where they get their pulp and they get it in buckets and bring it back, and they had a filter press for actually pressing their own filters for the whole thing. It was just crazy. So they'd actually go and take the pulp and put it in there. I said, really? You could just buy these things. Why would you do that?
I was like,
Gee, what?
wow.
And then
And remember the heat exchangers they had there? There was one that was just a cluster of copper tubes that went back and forth, and the beer just cascaded down and out the outside of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, not even contained at all. Of course, these places are using cool ships too. A lot of them were using cool ships and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's like, wow, really some old school stuff.
the Dole brothers. That was because I really liked the Doles, like Stillnacht. I haven't had that
Yeah,
in
the
years. I wish I
Dole
could
is
get
like,
that.
yeah, they were really cool.
That was
That
a
was
really
like
good.
that was a working museum.
That was a working museum. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah,
The grandmother at the time took us on the tour, and the steps were like this.
that was not. That
You
was
walk
their mother. That was
their
the Dole
mother.
brothers'
I
mother.
know,
Yeah,
and he was an artist too. I've got
yeah.
a print from him. I got a litho print of one of the church that was right there. It was really cool. So that was kind of fun. But oh my gosh, so fun going to those different highly recommend anybody going to Belgium and experiencing all these different places. It's like just because nothing ever lasts forever. You never know when something's going to change. So
It's on my short list of places I want to get to.
Yes. But a lot of inspiration for us going over there, that's for sure. It makes things click in your head. Well, they're doing it like this, and then what can we do different to put our own twist on it and still keep it traditional or do it different? It's like come up with a lot of things like that.
Americanize it.
Yeah, well, you make it your own.
You make it your own, exactly.
Make it your own.
It's like Drippa. I mean, there's a lot of places that use rice nowadays, but when we started doing that years ago, that was a big deal using rice in an IPA because nobody said, "What are you doing?" I said, "You're adding." That's like you're not a craft brewery. Yes, you are. You're just doing something different and to give it a different flavor profile. And it's interesting when we were bottling. I thought what was really neat is that you think rice doesn't really smell like much of anything. Well, it does in different situations. Like when we did this unyielding Belgian strong, and we're bottling this stuff, make sure that smell the foam on the floor and everything because it's foaming over. And you said you definitely get this like rice characteristic, and you get the Belgian nuances. You get a little bit of that peppery note as well as like this one. You've got some nice pear characteristic to it. It smells amazing. So it's just a fun, different play to get. I think it's tough nowadays to get new and unusual aromas. So it's really fun playing with like different types of adjuncts and different kinds of yeast to get these subtle nuances that you don't always smell or taste all the time. So it's kind of fun stuff.
I remember
when we used that black rice, Eric, making the forbidden drippa.
Yeah, we called it. It was really cool because I don't know if you've heard of black rice, but black rice is it's called forbidden rice. It's because only the royals of the Chinese could actually go and partake in doing it. Otherwise, it's forbidden. You could be sentenced to death if you actually went and actually consumed or the black rice. So only the elites, royals could actually could have the black rice, which is interesting.
Can you describe what that beer was like, Eric? Do you remember what?
Well, it came out like fuchsia in color. What it is it was first. I was really excited because when I was running the mash with the whole thing. And of all places, I couldn't find this stuff hardly anywhere. So of all places, I found it at Costco. You won't believe it. They had a limited thing. And these little, I'm doing an 8-barrel batch and I had these little 3-pound bags. And I'm like, have one person help me just cut up all these little bags to do 250 pounds of this stuff to go and mash in. And it was really cool because it was dark purple to begin with. But then the tragic thing is not really tragic. What it did was during the boil process, it had a reaction and it actually basically lost all that color, and it still had a like a pinkish hue to it, but it wasn't that dark, rich purple that it looked like it was going to start out before with the runoff of the whole thing. But it's still really cool and it tasted great. Really fun about doing. There's some new rices out there, some new hybrids that have higher in antioxidants that Brett and me are working on right now with experimenting with. We're doing some different sakes and some more black drippas. So it'd be kind of really, they're super high oxidants. They've actually been keep on working on making these hybrids of rice that are in the deep dark color. It's actually like not black, but it's purple, and it's a super high antioxidant. So can beer be good for you? Well, you know, as good as beer can get with alcohol, you know. So
You're entering the functional beverage market.
functional alcoholic beverage. Is there such a thing as functional and alcohol in the same statement?
I'm not sure.
No, I don't.
What is the future of beer?
Well, remember, there was that whole period, I guess it's still kind of going on, of just changing the hops out in the beer and experimenting and playing with that. And it sounds like you're doing that with rice now, which that's the new thing in beer.
Yeah. There's just so many variables that are fun to play with that too. And we've done some stuff with the what are some of the new hybrid yeast, not the
thiolized stuff.
The thiolized GMOs we've done some with. But something, it's as much as I thought it was really cool, the one thing we found is that if you get too much of it, those thiols just have a one-dimensional characteristic and they supersede and overtake a lot of the hop characteristics. If it's subdued and it's just a little bit there with the hop still being there, it can be kind of cool. But I haven't been the biggest fan of a lot of the stuff where it overtakes everything in the glass. So
I have yet to find one that convinces me that it's a good step in the beer direction.
It's
a lot of fruitiness, that's for sure.
It does, but I think the problem is with everybody said, well, I can tell it's thiolized. And that's what they don't like, is they can say, oh, I can tell. Because there's not it's like seemingly it's the thiol that's pronounced in the whole thing is always that same aromatic that you get off of it. So it's like, yeah, that's thiolized. I don't want that. Or, it's like, it's just too much for me because I'm sick of it already.
The craft beer brewers conference was in Indianapolis, and I went there, and they did have one booth, the thiolized yeast booth, and you got a tasting flight, I want to say, of 7 or 8 beers, and you were encouraged to vote on your favorite. And
did they do it like a Pepsi challenge where you could try one thiolized and one not?
No, they did encourage you to check into each one on Untapped, and they had them each named and identified, but they were all different styles. So there were IPAs, there was a wheat beer, they were all kind of light in color. And I think my favorite one was the one that had the least yeast characteristics.
There's some other interesting yeast from like Omega. I've been wanting to play with it. I just don't have time for every single one of the different things that's out there. But they have the one yeast that they've taken, because it's kind of sad to me, because I like all the dynamics of like Belgian yeast and German like Hefeweizen yeast. And the problem is it seems like a lot of younger generation people want to go. They do not like phenols. They do not want to have anything to do. Like phenols are all bad, and it's like, yeah, I agree. There are some phenolics that are just way over the top, and I can't stand them. But you get a peppery note or a clove note from a Belgian beer or a Hefeweizen, and it's subtle the way it should be, and you still get some nice big banana character if you like that. It's like that makes it fun. That makes it different, and it gives it extra dynamics to the whole thing. Whereas, what they've actually gone to the extreme part of it. That there's so many people that want just like the banana and no phenolics at all. Is it like Omega's come up with the yeast where they've actually taken and modified the gene so it does not produce a phenol. So it's just banana in your face and that's it. So I think it's really cool that they're doing that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And, you can make something that's a non-traditional Hefeweizen that maybe, goes and appeases a new generation of people, of drinkers out there. So it's like it's not all for me, but I think it's really neat that you can actually do things like that.
There may be a hop that pairs with it out there somewhere. I'm sure people are diligently looking.
Yeah.
So you guys have been doing this for a long time. Is there something that you haven't done yet that you really want to make sure happens? That's what I'm laughing at right now. You said
Yeah,
banana
right.
in your face.
Mm. Boy,
In
I
the
was trying
beer
to bring
thing,
up new things all the time. That's the key. Get new people in the door, try something new. Um,
I'd love to
maybe
get better.
maybe it's that new hybrid beverage that's kind of like sake and beer at the same time. I don't know. Something
Yeah,
different
we do get
adjuncts.
inspired all the time. It's like I'm excited about, and I'd like to do more collaborations with people. It's like we just haven't been. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of forethought that has to take in place of the whole thing, and to carry out the whole part of it. And it's like a ritual, and everything you do about it has to be something that you're all in tune to. And it's like if it's dragged out so long, it's tough to get together with the whole thing and make it happen. So I don't know. I'd love to do more collaborations with and you know building some bonds with some different brewers that I've known forever and working with them. So that'd be kind of neat to do. And the more years you're doing it, it's more about all these relationships that you've built through the years with all these other brewers, that going to festivals and everything else that we've done.
We've got a
It's been an
we've
amazing
got a
thing.
question in the chat from a cat asking if you guys make any NA beers, which would be. It sounds like it would be something different.
Yeah, that's true.
We'd love to do NA beers, but the biggest problem is there's a couple of different ways of doing it. You can do something that's just a very low ABV to fit that range at like 1.5%, but it's a lot of work to do it right and make it happen. It's like that. And to have a dealkalizer is the other portion of it. And if you do the dealkalizer on the whole thing, it's super expensive. I don't think there's uh, a rental company up the street that'll rent me the dealkalizer. It's like
That sounds like a good business proposition for somebody.
I think there are some of the companies with the dealkalizers for larger breweries. They'll lend it to them. Like I think like Bells and Founders, if they'll say, "Oh yeah, we'll check it out and see if we can use this thing. We'll take the time," because there's a chance of them selling a very expensive machine. So they'll go and lend it to them for a month and let them do some experimental batches and stuff like that. But for a small place like us, I don't think that they'd be willing to lend it to us. But I'd love to do some NA beers. I just have a hard time doing the regular beers. And the biggest problem with a lot of the safest way to do the NA beers is for pasteurization. And
It needs to be
because
tunnel pasteurized, really.
if it's truly NA and it gets, the lower it gets in alcohol, the thing everybody has to remember is that if it isn't pasteurized properly, or what a lot of people don't want is preservatives in their beer, right? So what we have is the natural part of beer that's so nice is the alcohol and the hop caps to it, and the way we handle the stuff keep it so that there is not a problem. As soon as you get rid of the alcohol part of the equation, you've actually made it more susceptible for for contamination and for possibility of people getting sick. So it's like the alcohol makes it a no-brainer portion for it, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. It's just you have to, pasteurization techniques are a big part of it. So, and I don't have a setup for a pasteurizer. Eventually, I think we were going to for the whole thing, especially if you like doing fun, different types of like, souring and then back sweetening and then you do the pasteurization. You can get it stable so you can get some really cool sweet and sour characteristics to the product. Like I think was it Hogarden? Dan Rogers was talking about that years ago, that they used to use one of the first batch, when their old batches, the way they used to do it made it sound as they do a glaciacetic acid batch, and then they'd blend it with a fresh batch. So they'd have one that had super high acidity, and then the other batch would be like a normal batch of like a wit, and then they combine the two and pasteurize it. And they just gives this wonderful a little bit of acetic acid characteristic to it that made it pop. And it's like those are the kind of things, unless you talk to these guys, they've been doing this stuff for the last 100 years type thing, or 50 years. It's like you don't know. You find out all these interesting characteristics they have to say about it. So, but you guys have to. When did you know Dan Rogers or no?
I do not.
He was at Griffin Claw. He's got his own place down in Florida now.
Okay.
But you should get us. We'll get all us on a chat session, doing this on your guys' podcast sometime. It'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
He'll do a lot of hooping and a hollering.
Yeah. Well, he was the brewer at Michigan Brewing Company when they had bought Paracelsus's system and brand with Cellus White.
So he learned from Paracelsus. And so there's a lot of brewers like Travis Fritz, from Old Nation.
Yep.
He was at that same time frame. He was at Michigan Brewing too, and they all learned a lot of cool things from him. Travis was German trained though as well, but it was amazing. You talk to anybody, the stuff that they learned from Paracelsus was just an amazing person to be around and learn from the traditional stuff about doing a Belgian wit. So
yeah,
that's one of my favorite things about this industry is the camaraderie and the working together that you guys do. I just think it's amazing and all that history that's there.
Yeah, the history, the knowledge, and it's like I don't know. It always seemed like we're always in the same boat, trying to figure out how to get a flavor profile or learn how to for shelf stability or whatever it is. There's always something more to learn about a subject that nobody ever masters it. It's almost like an art form that you're just always trying to achieve something, and actually you never quite get there, but you're always trying to get there.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of that, and then there's emergencies, but now there's people down the street that can help you with things like you ran out of something key, or this piece of equipment broke and you need a replacement part.
Yeah,
we love helping each other out. That's for sure.
Yeah, you were talking about collabs before, and that seems to be on a lot of breweries' minds. So I think it's more just making it happen, finding time and making it happen.
Making time.
Yeah.
That's a hard part.
I'll tell you, our biggest thing is we still do a lot of stuff ourselves, and we've been working our butts out. We don't have time. We should be spending more time doing what we're doing right now with you guys, promoting, doing our stuff, rather than seeing my brother slip on his ass. He's getting off the ice. Back when we have a SkyTrack. SkyTrack, it's a lift that goes up in the air and pulls. We use that as our high-low as well. So we're using that in the yard, pulling pallets up. He goes back to the yard, opens the fence up. It's so icy out there. I'm getting out of the van. I see Brett on the ground. I say, holy shit, did he just fall or what happened?
Yeah,
here?
I haven't fallen in a very, very, very long time, and it hurt.
It's like,
yeah,
it's a little different. It's different now, doesn't it?
Oh man,
you recover so much slower now too.
The safety girl in me just like, yeah.
No, we don't do many podcasts or anything. It's really fun, you guys doing this with us. I think it's pretty amazing. It's we'd like to. I think the more if we did more of these, we'd actually probably a little bit better vocalists and actually be able to articulate what we're trying to get.
You're actually doing a great job. So,
well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's if you saw the stuff we went through today. I can't believe it. I never had a lock set freeze up ever. As much as I even had a hardware, I sold de-icer to places. Who gets frozen lock sets? I had 3 locks today froze up. Warren Brewery location. Got the key in there, and I'm jiggling it. It won't come out. I'm ready to leave. I'm trying to get things in motion, going from the Warren Brewery to the Clinton Township Brewery. Okay, I got everything going. I'm already behind by a half hour. I just have to lock the door and go. Go to lock the door. My key is frozen in the lock, and I can't get it out. And then I jiggle the thing. I keep jiggling it, and then I go pull on the damn thing. And guess what? The whole cylinder comes up. You know the cylinder for the lock set.
Yes.
It pops out. All the pins fly all over the place.
Oh.
And I have to go all the way around the whole building to lock the deadbolt on that, and try to get my key out because all of my other keys are attached to it. I just want to get the job done. And then I get to Clinton Township, the same thing's happening. The padlock for the gate, it's a combination lock. You turn the little levers on the thing. It's locked up too. I had to go get the heat gun, run 100-foot extension cord to thaw out a lock set just to go and pop the thing open so that I could get the SkyTrack out so I could freeze my ass off to pull the beer out of the back to go and load it in. So these are the little things that you don't know that goes into when you make your Solstice beers that we're doing in the background here. So,
but what's the forecast for the festival? Is it this cold?
I don't know.
It's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow's supposed to be warming up. What weird weather we're having here in Michigan. It goes from
it
one
was
day
like spring,
40,
then 10 degrees, and then spring again. It was just for you guys.
Yeah.
So that you'd have more stories to tell.
We're having the same thing here, but I think 10 degrees warmer right now.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I am happy for you. I always going to say, why am I not why is my brewery not in Hawaii? It's like.
Well, oddly enough, we've interviewed people who brew in Hawaii, and I just had a brewer from the Caribbean or not from the Caribbean,
Cozumel.
the Caribbean, Cozumel, who told us about the trials and tribulations of brewing in the heat.
Yeah, they can't get the beer cold enough.
They can't get it cold enough, so they can only brew certain things.
Yeah.
Well, it's just too expensive for them to. I mean, you can in any climate you can make it happen, but at what expense, right? I mean, they do it in Vegas, and there again, I talked to my buddy Dan Rogers from years ago. He said they had, dual stage compressors on anything they do. So they had a redundant compressor so that it's not always, as soon as it gets to too much load, then the other one kicks in. Otherwise you're burning through compressors all the time because the thing will never turn off. So, but yeah, I mean, it is a challenge doing that stuff. The other thing is, like, I've seen it in, Spain and some other places where, and I thought it was crazy, but what they'll do is they don't believe in refrigerating their beer. They'll go and leave it, and you really can't do that with craft beer without destroying it. Mm-hmm. Is what they'll do is they'll just leave it sit warm, and then they'll run it like they do soda guns, and they'll use like a plate exchanger, like how you do soda, where you actually have a plate. You have a plate cooling system where you actually put an ice bath on the whole thing, and then it runs through. That's how you do a normal soda, like a Coca-Cola, dispense on the whole thing with carbonated water and the concentrated syrup, and then it dilutes it on the whole thing, and then the line set that's underneath there, it chills the whole thing down. Well, they're doing the same thing with beers over there, I hear. So what they do is they'll actually run it through. They'll leave the beer warm, and you can do this. I mean, you can, but the problem is with craft beer, it's like, especially like, like your hoppy beers and your beers that have a really nice, ester or yeast profile you're trying to take care of, it's going to defunct on you really quick on the whole thing if you don't keep it fairly chilled on the whole thing. But as far as what they're doing is they're leaving it sit warm to hot, and then they're running it through that plate exchanger and then chilling it down to cold. And they're wondering why half the time the beer is tasting like crap. So it's like, I think that's kind of weird.
I was at the NFL game in 24 down in Brazil. The Eagles and the Packers. Eagles won. But the beer, none of it was cold. They only had warm beer. And it was all the US macros that they had, I think specifically for the game. And that was, so it wasn't the worst thing, because those beers, I don't think they taste much better cold. But it turns out they do taste a little better cold.
Well, the crazy, I just pulled like this Fourth Dementia off the shelf. I don't even want it chilled. It tastes so good. It's just at 55, 60 degrees right now. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I'm guessing the weather is going to be just about perfect to serve all these things at room temperature, with the outdoors being the room. Well, at least for a lot of these beers.
Yes.
We have hit the 1 hour mark, which means that we need to wrap this thing up. Let everybody get on. You guys have a busy day tomorrow. We don't want to keep you too
I got
long.
to pass out. What we're doing is Brett and me both run the smoker too. So we're going to be up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Believe it or not, we kill ourselves. I don't know why we do this, but we love it. So we're running the smoker, putting those shanks on at 6 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, both of us should probably just go night and not go out drinking right now. So
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm going to skip the final question. Wendy, do you have another question that you want to follow up with, though?
My final question would be, since I love to travel and I know you guys love to travel, what is one of the places you haven't been yet that you would like to go and try their beer?
I haven't been to Prague, so I'd love to go drink some Czech pills. So that's something I want to do. Eric's already been there, but
I've been there and done that. I love that. That's really good.
He's already been everywhere. So
I haven't been everywhere. I'm just trying to think places I'd like to. I'd like to do some more Scandinavian areas, and try. It seems like they're really doing some really cool things in a lot of the Scandinavian countries, and Brett and me are both part Norwegian too, so it's like the German and the Norwegian heritage, and it'd be kind of fun to go to Norway and Sweden and do some collaborations and hang out with those guys over there. I think that'd be super cool. So I think Scandinavia is on a high list for Brett and me both in the near future. So
I think less heritage brewing and more just it's all interesting mishmash. But I will suggest Chit beer as a wonderful reason to go to Bangkok. Actually, they have 2 locations now. The OG is you have to take a water taxi to get there because it's on an island. There's a bunch of
super cool,
like Watts and things on there, and shopping shopping stalls, and it's a good day. It's really cool.
that would be cool just to visit
well,
there.
I'm gonna pick your brain about that.
Yeah.
Bangkok. There we go.
And we needed to find out if the head brewer's name is still, if the head brewer is still Porn.
He's Chit's brother, so I assume it's still Porn, unless they've had a falling out. But things happen.
Oh my god.
We didn't even get into that. We could do a whole nother show.
So he actually went to school in the U.S. Speaks excellent English. Chit does. Porn spoke good enough English. Their sister who ran the kitchen, she did not speak much English, but she was still really nice.
I'm serious. We could probably do a whole show just on family businesses.
Yeah. So, okay.
Brett looks like he's going to fall asleep.
Yeah, Eric and Brett, thank you guys so much. It was wonderful talking to you. Have a spectacular time tomorrow. Of course, we are recording this live, and the podcast probably will be going out while you guys are out in the cold, freezing your butt. Well, it won't be that cold. It's going to be beautiful and wonderful, and everybody should show up.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be during the day. I don't know if it'll probably still be cold when we get up there. It's 22 degrees.
Thank you
here
so
in
much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, much appreciated, guys. Anytime you want to do it again, if you want a specific topic or something, and we can get some of our other. You guys ever do more than just one brewery? You ever do like
Yeah.
a grouping?
We haven't for a while, but yeah, it definitely used to happen.
But if you want to, we can get some of our friends together and we have a big party online.
Absolutely.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, good times. All right. Thank you again, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Dan, I
Have a good
will
night.
close the show like we close every show and say whatever you think of your beer we think it's better on draft. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Here's better on draft.